Hello and welcome to a new devlog video for Peasant Uprise. This week I was greeted by this email from Google signifying that I've reached a great milestone. And 100 subscribers for me it's a big deal. So in this devlog I'll be doing something a bit different and we'll be discussing 3 topics. It would not be accurate to say that the gaming industry is in crisis because it's really not, but it's for sure at risk. Instead of crisis, I would say that the industry is changing. But what's a fact is that big major gaming corps are really struggling. I'm not just saying this, and you can take a peek at Electronic Arts and Activision's stock price throughout last year. Even the giant Bethesda also bit the dust with the disaster of Fallout 76. There are countless videos and tweets of gamers that simply put just had enough. Each case has their own reasons for failure, but at the core I truly believe that the problem lies in corporate greed. Back in the day, it was unimaginable that a game would cost $60, but prices soared, and now it's the norm in AAA games. Then comes the DLCs, which I have nothing against a few extensions that add significant content, but oftentimes these DLCs simply offer what should have been in the game to begin with. Then came the season passes, which in cases cost more than the game itself. And finally, if the $60 price tag wasn't enough, now these AAA games are using microtransactions to the point that in some cases it has become a play-to-win cash grab. There are many that argue that these are not simply cash-grabbing tactics. In fact, government is starting to push legislation to declare some of these tactics actually illegal. But I'm glad gamers are fighting back and speaking their minds, and they're saying that enough is enough. Look at the Diablo Immortal trailer in YouTube. It has 26,000 likes and 741,000 dislikes. That should speak for itself. If you happen to stop by a game store, you're going to see the same IPs all over again. Game development is supposed to be a creative process, an art. Don't get me wrong, I grew up playing Diablo, StarCraft, NBA Live, and I would say that Skyrim is my all-time favorite game. So I love these companies for having created such great games, but I do fear that they're losing touch with its customers, the gamers, and are more driven by profit than creating memorable experiences. But since the beginning of digital distribution, the gates of corp publishing have fallen and given the opportunity to indie game developers like myself to realize their dreams. We provide the alternative. Our work is creative, unlike the AAA companies that just keep milking the same IP over and over again. Our products are affordable, and we don't use sneaky tactics to cheat the people who want to play our games. Throughout these months with the devlogs, I have noticed something pretty amazing, like a community of indie devloggers brewing in the background. We give feedback, support, and motivate each other, and that's very important. I've also had the pleasure to chat with some of my peers in Discord, bringing this community a step closer. So all in all, I'm just amazed and thankful to all of you people that have shown interest in Peasant Uprise, indie games, and also to my fellow devloggers. I started these devlogs as a way to document my process, something for me to look back at and either laugh or learn from it for future projects. Sure, it's also a way to get the word out, but I didn't have much more expectations than that. So I was very hesitant at first, to say the least. I'm not your normal supercharged teenager that shows a lot of energy and has a bag full of catchphrases and natural humor. I personally never really tried to impersonate someone I'm not, and looking back, that has allowed me to build my own identity and style in YouTube. It's been 36 videos thus far, and I have never really talked much about games in-house. So Games in-house headquarters is in a little room in my house, and yes, it's just me. I do count with a security officer, she's called Goldilocks, and she's extremely efficient at letting people know to stay out of company premises. When it comes to gaming though, she's hard to please. The first game I ever played that I actually remember was Manic Miner. This was a platformer game in the Spectrum 48K that belonged to my brother. I remember we used to load the game into memory through a tape recorder. To this day, I still remember the music on this game and how each level the music would go up a bit in speed and faster, adding a lot of tension by design. The first game I published was called Gangster, and it was an online web-based game. The game went through some iterations and up to 5 versions from 2001 to 2013. The game was well viewed by fans and it was a different take on text-based web games at the time, so it did get an audience pretty quickly. My goal was always to make Gangster feel like it wasn't a browser game. However, while the game was profitable, it wasn't enough to fully dedicate my time to it, so I had to close it down. Since then, there has always been this desire to build something that didn't require the daily maintenance and support of web-based applications, and I just wanted to ship a complete 3D game, after having been building games for so many years. So that pretty much puts me back in the drawing board sketching some ideas until I landed on Peasant Uprise. And here we are. I don't really know what to expect from Peasant Uprise. All I know is that I'm committed to complete this project and for it to serve as my first experience at building and publishing a PC game. But now, I don't feel like I'm working on this project alone and in isolation. I know I can count with a bunch of other indie developers to share their progress every week and to keep me inspired and motivated to keep moving forward. I want to especially thank Mr. Beanie for featuring Peasant Uprise in his video 8 Underrated Indie Developers Who Deserve More Subs. You can find the link to the video in the description. And this is just one of many examples of how we are all supporting each other. With that said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next update.